Okay, so here we are with another DC Multiverse unboxing, and this is Power Girl. It says Power Girl Reborn. She's one of my favorite characters. I just got her from just from GameStop yesterday, and I really want to open her up. So we're going to do a special episode on Sunday, just so I can open her up when I don't usually do an episode on Sunday. And most of this month has been focused on a Black History Month theme because of all the action figures that I have to unbox. A lot of them happen to be black characters, so I figured, hey, why not make a thing of it? But she's one I wanted to open immediately, so she's not going to fit into that theme, really. But like I said at the beginning, they're probably not all going to be Black History Month figures this month. There's going to be some other stuff I'm going to want to open, but I think most of the rest for the rest of this month are going to be with the Black History Month theme. So I've got the Black Panther, Wakanda Forever wave that I want to open up. I got Mr. Terrific. I got a few other things. So we'll see how that works out. Anyway, Power Girl got a lovely piece of artwork on the back. Doesn't that look nice? Yeah. And it's pretty much other than that, the standard DC Multiverse Collector Edition packaging. So let's go ahead and open her up. I know I'm going to have some things to say about this figure, both good and bad. And, we're going to get into all that. So it's going to be mostly good, actually talking about the figure. But the thing that I want to talk about that's bad immediately, without even opening it, is this figure is overpriced. I'm just going to say this right now. This should not have been a collector edition figure. I'm looking it over. It doesn't have a trading card stand. It doesn't even have a flight stand. It's just got a standard action figure stand in it. So this could have fit into a regular box and just been like a regular, $20 figure. It did not need to be a collector edition figure. I'm just going to say that right off the bat and get that out of the way. This figure is overpriced. There's no two ways about it. And she's a great looking figure. I don't care how great a looking figure she is, though. There have been just as many great looking figures that have been standard Mcfarlane collector, standard Mcfarlane figures, not collector edition. She didn't need to be collector edition. Just saying. Sorry, Mcfarlane, you did not justify the price point on this one, as far as I'm concerned. I could tell that immediately, even without getting all the stuff out. Speaking of getting stuff out, here's our training card. Unfortunately, it is not on the same bubble as the figure stand, but it was still pretty easy for me to get off. I do really love this piece of artwork. It is a really nice piece of artwork. So, it says, here's what the back of the card looks like, and it reads, Power Girl Reborn, data file, real name Kara Zor-El, which is spelled incorrectly. The Earth 2 version of the character, it should be spelled with ZOR hyphen capital L, not ZOREL. That's her. This is Kara Zor-El. This is just Kara Zor-El capital L. That's sloppy. That's a sloppy mistake to make. All right. So and then it says Karen Starr. I don't believe that she's going by the name Karen Starr anymore because they got really sensitive about people being called Karens these days, so they didn't want to call her Karen anymore. So they changed her name to Paige. Okay, whatever. So I guess because it sounds like PG, Power Girl. I guess that was what they were going for. I don't know. So it says Kara Zor-El escaped Krypton. Excuse me. Kara Zor-El escaped Krypton and gained astounding abilities under Earth 2's yellow sun. So should we say Krypton 2 specifically? Also, I don't know. Adopted by Clark Kent and Lois Lane, she was coached by Superman, her cousin, Kal-El, again, capital L. Spell his name right. Put some respect on the Earth 2, Krypton 2, House of L. Just letter L. Like, I guess it'd be this way. Yeah. No, that's this. I had it right the first time. It should be backwards for me. Anyway, and yearned to become a superhero. When Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman all died after Earth 2 invaded Apocalypse, that's some New 52 shit right there. Kara and her friend Robin, uh, that means Helena Wayne, she was Robin in that continuity, were ejected from their universe. On Prime Earth, Kara rebranded herself as the technology entrepreneur Karen Starr. That does apply to the Earth 2 version, the original one, and building a company dedicated to bridging dimensions. As Power Girl, she covertly secured funds and confiscated useful technologies in a bid to return to Earth 2. Like I said, a lot of this is the Earth, the New 52 version of the character. I don't really like New 52 at all. I don't really care about that. So Power Girl originally, like I said, she was from the Earth 2 universe version of Krypton, and came over here in a symbiote ship, which kept her in kind of like a virtual reality where she had a life growing up on Krypton that didn't really happen. So when she got to Earth, she had a little bit of a chip on her shoulder. The big difference between Karen, we'll call her just to differentiate, and Linda Danvers, again to differentiate, is that Linda really did grow up on Argo City. And when she came to Argo City was a hard life. It was basically like the Krypton version of living on the frontier. They were refugees on a chunk of the planet that ripped away and somehow held intact. And she was when she came to Earth, I think she was just happy to be somewhere, at all. And she'd been through such trauma, and Superman was there to help her through it. And she really truly loved and admired her cousin. And Power Girl, on the other hand, had a major chip on her shoulder. So she had a little more sass and a little more attitude, and she wasn't going to call herself Supergirl because that was her cousin's name. She's going to stand on her own, so she's Power Girl. So anyway, go ahead and get this cut here. So the double rubber tabs around her, right underneath the rib cage. You thought I was going to say boobs, but no, it's under her boobs. So somehow with Power Girl, the conversation is always going to come back to her boobs. And we will discuss Power Girl's boobs. Don't worry. We've got some things to say about that. All right. So I think that's all the rubber tabs that are holding our girl in the package. So let's go ahead and get it out. I'm going to try really careful not to get this cape caught on any rough piece of plastic that might be sticking out. And it is a nice short cape. And like the Total Justice, it reminds me of Total Justice Superman, but Justice League Task Force Superman in the. But they're like the Justice League Task Force Superman. She's got like a double layered cape with wire all the way around it. Very impressive looking. She's in a pretty cool pose just right out of the box, actually, which I like. All right, so we'll set her aside for the moment. And she does have some accessories. So let's talk about these accessories. Where did I put my X-Acto knife? There it is. Okay. So she's got mainly 4 extra hands and a pet cat. And I don't think any of those are enough, like I said, to justify the price point of this figure. This figure is overpriced. I think that if they were going to do this as a collector edition figure, they should have included some other accessories, like maybe an alternate head, a chunk of kryptonite. I don't really care what at this point. She should have at least had a trading card stand. I don't know why they stopped doing the trading card stands in these figures. That's something that is a big disappointment to me on these in general. So, okay, so we got all the hands out of the package. And then Streaky has double rubber tabs around him for some reason. You know what? I'm just going to go around the back here. I think I can do that. And voila. There we go. That's going to be the easiest way to do that. So let's go ahead and get Streaky out of the package. And again, Streaky is not Power Girl's cat. Streaky is Supergirl's cat. And you can even see they have the matching emblems. That's the Earth 1 Superman emblem. And the Earth 2 Superman emblem, if Kara had a Streaky and Streaky was going to have any Supergirl emblem or Superman emblem, it would be that one. So, but Karen did not have a Streaky. Linda did. So, anyway, she's a good looking figure. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. All right, is it a $30 figure? No. It's like we're not justifying that. So I do like that there's some consistency in the face sculpt, since these are kind of alternate universe versions enough. They look enough alike, so that's nice. Karen has like a lighter hair color, almost not quite platinum blonde, whereas Linda's a little more dirty blonde. So, but I like the super cat Streaky. They did a good job with him, even though he should have really come with Supergirl and not Power Girl. But at least we have one now. And just because I know some of you will want to see this, let's get a shot of Streaky and Crypto. Crypto does not have an S on his cape, unfortunately. So yeah, there's a Streaky. There's our super pets together. All right, let's move on. So the hands that she comes with is she comes with two of these gripping hands, which both have a trigger finger, and two of these solid fists. Streaky, don't look at them. All right, and let me get since I've got her over here, we can get a shot of her. Unfortunately, she dropped her crossbow. Where did the crossbow? Oh man, we gotta get that crossbow. We'll find it later, I'm sure. Hopefully, it didn't fall in that box of stuff down there. So here is our Power Girl and Huntress together. They are, of course, best friends. That is, if we're assuming that this is the Earth 2 version of the Huntress and not the post-crisis version of the Huntress. But I think they both wore a similar costume to this, depending on what continuity it is. Like, this is not too dissimilar from what the Huntress was wearing in the New 52 anyway. All right, so let's go ahead and get one more. Let's get a shot of her with Superman. So I made sure I brought him over here. And this is not the original head that was on this figure, by the way. I might as well show that off. That is a custom head that I made. It's a 3D print of an Alex Ross style Superman that I painted up. And I had to painstakingly match the flesh color because I didn't want to do anything to permanently alter this figure, since he is a hard to find figure. But they look great together, don't they? Yeah. All right, so I really like the sculpt on this. Like I said, the face sculpt does look enough like the Earth 1, we'll say, Supergirl. They did a nice job with that. She's got the little pauldron on the shoulder. This is very much based on the design of the costume that Amanda Connor did. She even has like the little power emblems on her boots. You can see that the boot buckles are like the power button on a computer. She had the clever idea. She's Power Girl, and she works in computers. So her emblem is the power button on a computer. That's pretty clever, huh? You gotta give it to her on that. She's got a pretty plain red belt. Power Girl has had a lot of variations on her costumes, especially during the Amanda Connor era. She liked to kind of experiment a bit with her costume. But the thing I liked about her designs of the costume is they still hewed very closely to the classic Power Girl costume, the original Power Girl costume. So mainly it was just little tweaks here and there that she put into it. Yeah, we're going to talk about that, Lone Dragon. Don't worry. I'm getting to that. So, but yeah, she definitely had like the classic look of the character. Because she'd kind of tweak her a little bit. Like, she doesn't have the pirate boots like the original design had those kind of buccaneer boots with the flap. And but yeah, this is pretty close to how Amanda Connor would usually draw Power Girl. Now she does have this braid that goes around her torso, and that in the comic book is what holds her cape on. But this figure has the cape actually, it's actually embedded into the torso, like how a lot of these capes are. Just underneath this collar piece is kind of separate. I don't know if you can see the seam there. Can you see the seam there? Yeah, so that's what holds it on. So this whole thing is actually like a loose piece that doesn't attach to the cape at all. And if you had the platinum edition of the figure, thankfully I did not get the platinum edition of the figure. I definitely wanted this one. The platinum edition has a jacket, and they put the thing over the jacket. But yeah, I'm not a fan of her with the jacket at all. I wanted the classic look of Power Girl with the cape. She's got to have the cape for me. If she doesn't like it, she can be Busty Sinclair. She's not Max Power Girl either. She's just Power Girl. So I did get the other figures in this assortment, but I'm not going to be opening them probably until next month. But let's go ahead and real quick have a look at the figures that I did get that are also in this assortment. We got Captain Cold, and I didn't get the platinum version of Captain Cold either, because the platinum version of Captain Cold is pretty much the same as this, except for he has blue skin instead of Caucasian skin, in homage to the Challenge of the Super Friends cartoon. And I got Guy Gardner, but they did send me the platinum edition of Guy Gardner, so I don't have him in the Green Lantern suit. So that means I'm still gonna have to try to find. I'm still gonna have to try to find a regular Green Lantern version of Guy Gardner. So that's kind of a mixed bag there. It's nice to have the platinum version. I do like the platinum version, but if I had have gotten the Green Lantern version, I would have been happy with it and not really needed to hunt down. But since I do have, now I'm gonna have to hunt down. It's just a whole thing. I'll talk more about that in that episode, which will be forthcoming probably sometime this month. Hello, Captain Have Fun. How you doing today? This is my special episode. I'm doing a rare Sunday episode so I can talk about this Power Girl figure that I really wanted to open up. So let's go ahead and have a look at the articulation. So Power Girl can look up about that far, look down about that far, tilt her head kind of quizzically from side to side, rotate the head all the way around. Her arms, of course, rotate all around the shoulders. She's got butterfly spaces. You followed me on X? Well, that's cool. Kept Power Girl for, oh, well, go ahead. I thought we were going to open them up. That's why I opened it up. Well, go ahead and do a video opening it up. We'll talk about her. We'll talk about her some on the when we do our thing. So I don't know how to do that. Had one weeks ago, didn't know. I thought. Okay. Go ahead and open her up because I misunderstood. I'm so sorry. I'm really. I thought we decided to go ahead and open them. I'm sorry. You only follow me on weed. Well, that might be a good way to do that. I don't know. Maybe I should try to get my head shaved before we do the thing. I should probably try to get my head shaved. I'm so sorry, man. I misunderstood. I feel really bad now. So, but yeah, the spacers don't really fit into her shoulders as well as I would like because they keep popping loose. So they probably could have done a better job with that, but oh well. She does have bicep swivel, biceps rotate all the way around. They did a nice job with her arms. They've got like enough muscle on them that you can tell she's Power Girl. Not so much that she's too bulky or muscle bound or anything like that, but okay, I won't feel bad then. I'll try to feel less guilty about it. She's got double jointed elbows. That's about the range of motion you get at the elbows. Did you get any of the other figures from this assortment? Did you get Captain Cold or Guy Gardner? Did you get either one of those? We can talk about those. We can still talk about Power Girl. I'm gonna have a lot of things to say about this figure, so it's gonna be cool. She's got the cool Mcfarlane wrist articulation. So those wrists can move around pretty much any which way you want. Good stuff. Uh, does not, like I said, have a mid torso joint like most figures do. Just kind of moves around at the waist, but really good articulation at the waist. Now is probably a good time for us to talk about the elephants in the room. And yes, I didn't mean to say that plural. So, Power Girl is supposed to be drawn to look like a more mature version of Supergirl, since she is a more mature version of Supergirl. And we can see if we compare them, like she's way taller than Supergirl, like almost an entire head taller than Supergirl. And hell, let's have her next to Superman. She's even almost a little bit taller than Superman. I think that's just in her hair. And like I said, this is a new head that I made. So it might be different if we stood the original head back to back with her. But yeah, that's the head that I made in case for anybody who came in late. But yeah, she was designed by Wally Wood. That's what I was getting to actually. She was designed by Wally Wood, who is an artist who is well known for drawing voluptuous, curvy females. Once Woody was asked by somebody why he drew his women with such large, pillowy breasts, and he answered, "I draw what I like." Man after my own heart, Wally Wood. So he was also the mentor of one Larry Hama, the guy who's one of the geniuses behind G.I. Joe. And I love G.I. Joe. So he's always got lots of good Wally Wood stories. So anyway, so yeah, the joke is apparently as Wally was the inker on All-Star Comics at the time. And I think honestly he was probably more of a finisher because he inked that comic pretty heavily. But he did a great job with it. Rick Estrada was the penciler. I think they made a pretty good team. But yeah, apparently Woody would keep drawing her breasts larger and larger with every issue until finally it got to be too much. And then they took out the booby window. She's got this window here for cleavage. So we'll talk more about that in a minute. But yeah, I think eventually somebody at DC eventually caught on to what he was doing and told her to stop. Told him to stop. Cut that out, Woody. But yeah, Joe Staton was the artist that came after, and he also did a great job drawing the character. And that's probably I think a lot of people's definitive version of Justice Society, at least the post-crisis or the pre-crisis Justice Society, the Bronze Age Justice Society. We'll put it that way. So I would say, as far as your definitive Power Girl artists, you've got Wally Wood, you've got Joe Staton, and you've got Amanda Connor. And there's some other good artists, in between there and after. But yeah, those would probably be like the three definitive artists. So they took out the booby window for a while. She just had she was still out there, but they just didn't have the hole there. And then eventually they switched it to where it was more of a scoop cut, I guess, kind of as a compromise, more of a scoop cut on the shirt, so she didn't have the kind of turtleneck collar on there, but it still allowed for some cleavage. But I guess because it wasn't a cutout, it wasn't as overtly sexy, I think, was what they were going for. And that was the costume that she had when I first saw her, and the costume that she had for most of the Bronze Age. And when they got into the post-crisis era, she was in Justice League Europe / Justice League International, and they tried to redesign her costume several times in that, and they were all fairly hideous. They keep trying to reinvent the wheel with this character, and every time they try to redo her, it's like with Zatanna. Like they try to redo her costume to be more practical or less sexy or what have you, and they can never really come up with anything that matches. I think just how good the original costume is. By the way, since I mentioned Zatanna, they really need to do a Zatanna in this line. And I tell you what, Mcfarlane, since you're so reluctant to make female figures and you keep wanting to put them into the collector edition line, even if it's not really justified, uh, I tell you what, if you do a Zatanna and you make her in the collector edition line, I won't complain about her being overpriced. I'll still say she's overpriced, but I won't complain about it. I'll just have it as a factual statement. Anyway, let's get back to her articulation. So she can kick up a surprisingly good range of motion there. That's like Yvonne Craig style. So that's pretty awesome. And but then she kind of pops her trunks into like an awkward space. So you got to kind of pop her trunks back. She does have like a little bit of a wiggle there, so that's good. She got double jointed knees. That's about the range of motion you get at the knees. No boot articulation, even though this is a separate piece of plastic. They could have done that easily, but it's okay that they didn't because she's got the cool Mcfarlane ankle articulation, and we can really rotate those around any which way we want. And I guess Mcfarlane didn't feel like showing off anymore in this figure because she does not have toe articulation. But I'm not really a fan of toe articulation. I don't really need it. I don't really mind that it's missing. I'm fine with it not having toe articulation. I kind of figure it's because of these wedge heels, and they just kind of didn't want to interfere with the design of the character too much. So I'm pretty happy with how she turned out. They did a really great job with her. My only real complaint is that the figure is overpriced and should not have been a $30 action figure. This should have been like at best $25 action figure. Like put her in with the Mcfarlane Toys digital line and charge me a couple extra bucks. That's fine, but they did do a great job with her. And I will say this for I don't think that many parts from this figure are reused from any other figures. I think there might be some parts reused from Wonder Woman. In fact, let me check on that. I'm gonna hang on. I'll be right back. I know where she is, so it's not gonna take too long. Because I know I saw her over here the other day. Find what I did with her. Wonder Woman. There she is. Okay. Yeah, I did. I forgot about that. I did want to compare and see if, because I kind of suspected there were some parts that were shared on these figures. So we're gonna check that right now. All right. So here we are. We're back, and it does look to me like these are the same legs. The thighs are the same. The knees are the same, and not the shins though, because she's got different boots, obviously. And you can see that the flesh colored part of the shin, the bare leg of the shin, is a different shape. So that's I'm pretty sure that those are not shared parts, at least for the shins. And the arms do look about the same. It does look like it's those same arm, at least the upper parts of the arms, not where the bracelets and the gloves are. So they reuse the arms and the legs from Wonder Woman, and their articulation scheme is about the same because Wonder Woman also did not have the mid torso joint, but Wonder Woman does have toe articulation, so she's got that going on for her. Anyway, they did a great job with this figure, and I'm really happy with it, even though I feel like I was overcharged. But they know when they got you, I guess. But they did do a great job with this cape. The cape's really awesome. The sculpt is really good. The paint details are good. Like I said, she looks enough like Supergirl that you can tell that these are supposed to be kind of the same person, but from two different realities. But separated by quite a few years, if you know what I mean. So yeah, good figure. I'm really happy with her. I'm glad that I was able to get one. So I've got like I said, I've got these other two figures, but we're gonna hold off on opening them for now. Captain Have Fun, if you're still watching, And if not, I'll get a hold of you. Like if you followed me on X, then I should be able to get a hold of you that way. I don't post on X very often, but I try to, like, when I can think about it. Uh, but yeah, I'll reach out to you at some point. But it looks like my next day off is going to be next Sunday. And while I don't normally do a video on Sunday, this is unusual. That might be a good day for us to do a collab if you want to do that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure that you like, subscribe, all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Power Girl, both the character in general and this figure specifically. And Lone Dragon says you guys are hardcore. I only ever post on weed. Well, no comment. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.